Hi, Steve Shepard, Connecticut Real Estate, and welcome to Optimum Leadership Television. We usually have a bunch of different guests coming on. We're talking about leadership, coaching, and we like to talk to people about what they've done to be successful in life. Tonight, we have Chris Lingle. He's a magician. He's going to share some magic with us, and we're going to learn a little bit more about him. Chris, I hear you have a new tour coming up called IPA.
Yes,
Tell
I
us
do.
about it.
It's the IPA Tour Illusion Plus Alcohol, and it's basically a 21 and older adult magic show. There's comedy, there's magic, there's banter, there's possible stupidity, there's stunts, there's parlor magic, there's a little bit of everything. But I'm doing it at breweries all over New England and New York, and it's a huge tour. It's about 32 shows as of right now, growing because I keep getting emails. It starts March 1st, and it goes all the way until Memorial Day weekend.
I was looking at one of the images that you have on Facebook that had the whole list, and I sent it over to the guy that owns Black Rock Tavern. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm interested. Let's go. Let's do it."
Oh, I wish he reached out to me.
Yeah.
Gladly. Anybody wants to book it, I'll
He just did
do
by
it.
reaching through me. I'm reaching back to you.
Nice. Yeah, well, let him
and,
know I'm interested.
We'll get it done.
Cool.
So you're a magician. Show us a little bit of something that we'd be looking forward to when we see you.
All right, so I'm going to do something that's based off of a gambling game that they used to play out in New York City. I don't know if you've ever heard of the game Three Card Monte. Three Card Monte is, for the people who are watching at home who don't know what Three Card Monte is, it is basically a scammer's game, and what they would do is they would have a bunch of people in on it, and then they would try to trick you into thinking that you're going to win. You'd put your money down, and then they'd throw a curveball at you, and the next thing you know, you're broke. Well, that game is usually a shell game, or a ball under a cup along with two other cups, and they mix them around. And I lived out in New York City. When I was in Coney Island and Brooklyn and Manhattan, I would see these guys and I'd see what they were doing. So I figured I've got to come up with a better way so that way I can do something for the scammers and I can win the money back. And I'm going to show you what it is now, and I'm going to kind of demonstrate.
Scam the scammers.
Exactly. So I just want to make sure that the camera can get down on the cards. I want to make sure that we've got a good view. Can you hold your hand like this for me? Okay. All I'm going to do, and I'm going to walk you through it, it's very, very simple to follow. I have the ace of diamonds, and I'm going to put it in your hand. Hold it just like that. Steve, without looking, what card is that?
Ace of diamonds.
Look at it. Just make sure. Okay? Show the cameras, just, so everybody at home can see it's the ace of diamonds. Now, I've got the ace of hearts right here. I hope everybody can see that right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the heart and I'm going to switch it with the diamond, but it's going to happen so fast you're not going to see it. See how it switched? See how it switched back? Now, believe it or not, that's a sleight of hand move. Now, that's still the ace of diamonds. I still have the ace of hearts. But I'm going to show you one more time what I did, but I'm going to slow it down into human speed, I guess you can say. So, I took the heart. Make sure you've got the diamond, by the way. Just make sure that's still the diamond. Turn it over. Okay?
Yep.
What I did, when I did that fast move right there, is I switched the card out. I gave you the heart, and I took out the diamond. Now, Steve, you now know what the move looks like. I'm going to do it one more time as fast as I can, but you're going to keep your hand down. So I've got the diamond, you've got the heart. Watch this. Ready? That's as fast as I can do it. Now, without looking, what card is the top card?
Hearts?
Hearts on top, diamonds on the bottom. Keep in mind, it's a 50-50 shot. But like I said, this is a trick that I had to come up with to scam the scammers. All I have to do was just wave my shadow over the cards. Turn the hand over, both of them.
I've been joked.
That's right, Rockstar. So that's just a little bit of what you'll be able to see at the tour. It's a bunch of really awesome things.
Nice. So just give us a little idea, like where are you going to be performing? I think it's mostly like breweries.
It's breweries. So it's breweries, tap rooms, bar rooms all over New England, New York. I've got, I think, as of right now, 32 separate places. Some of them actually booked me twice, which is pretty cool.
Very cool.
And, we're kind of winging it. I did the show at Two Roads Brewery down in Stratford back in November, and it got over so well. I was like, I have to take advantage of this. Now, keep in mind, I used to do kids' magic shows. When I first started doing magic 18 years ago now, I was doing kids' magic shows, and I grew to dislike them, like completely, to the point where I don't even advertise that I do kids' magic shows anymore because I don't. But I found that the reactions I was getting, the fact that I was able to be me, I was able to be raw, real, I wasn't filtered, I didn't have to pretend to be somebody just so I can, babysit children for 45 minutes, like what parents expect when you are doing a magic show for children.
That's what I did when I was 14.
It's so Kids, so it's I get to go out, I get to be me. It's the real me. And the show went over so well back in November. I was like, this is it. This is the gold mine. This is the niche. It's like I've been waiting 17 years to figure out what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. So I'm very confident.
It is definitely, in any business you have, it is all about the niche.
Absolutely.
Finding the niche, being able to stand out in the crowd.
Absolutely.
And that's where, we have a magician on Optimum Leadership Television. Why? Because you've been able to stand out in the crowd. You've found your niche, and you've found your path to success. And that's what we want to learn about. So tell us more about you. How did it all begin?
So my mom calls me into her room one day. It's 2006, early 2006. And she says, hey, that weird guy's on television again. And I go into her room, and I'm watching a man physically walk on water across a pool in Las Vegas. And I saw the money he was making, the girls he had, the cars he was driving, all of these exclusive, Vegas hotel rooms and buffets that he got to go to, his own stage show. And I was like, I'm doing that the rest of my life. This, by the way, was Criss Angel. He was a household name back in the early 2000s.
Absolutely.
And for those of you who do not know who Criss Angel is, if you took David Copperfield and Hot Topic and merged them together, that's Criss Angel. But I figured, I was like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I've always been somebody who liked attention. I've always been somebody who liked to put on a show for people, whether it be with my little toy monster trucks or, in the sandbox in the backyard. I'd have chairs set up like it was an arena. Or, if it was like me trying to play video games in front of everybody and do commentary.
Okay. So quickly, I've got to ask you, how'd all that work when you were in elementary school and high school?
It didn't. So, like I said, this is 18 years ago when I started, 2006. I was in middle school, and I was being severely bullied because of it, to the point where I quit. I stopped doing it completely. I burned my cards. I was like, this is getting me nowhere. And then I graduated 8th grade, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this again. I'm going to see how it happens, right? So I go into high school. I start doing magic tricks for the seniors. Now, you see, I'm a freshman. We're bait. So I'm like, all right, might as well go to the big dogs. I go to the seniors. I start doing magic tricks. And next thing you know, I am famous. I can't go anywhere without somebody coming up to me and saying, hey, do a magic trick. And be like, oh, Magic Man, show me something. Magic Man, you got to do this. Magic Man, show my buddy something. I'd be like, dude, close the stall. It got, you know what I mean? It's like anywhere I went, like, dude. So
It's a little invasive.
It really is. But at the same time, it's like, I went from worried about being bullied to the guy that everybody wanted, except for the women. But, and then after high school, I moved out to New York City. And when I moved out to New York City, it was only for a little bit. It was a friend of mine. His name is Troy Bond. He is a comedian. Actually got really, really famous. And I used to sleep on his couch. And when his landlord found out that I was there, I was not sleeping on his couch, but I didn't leave the city. But when I was in the city, I learned a lot about marketing, a lot about hustling, a lot about how to talk to people, how to go into businesses, how to dress, how to act, how to hold things. You'd be very surprised. Psychology is an incredible part of magic that amateur magicians don't even consider.
Absolutely.
It's just a matter of how you walk into somebody. Like if I wanted to talk to a general manager of a restaurant, I go in, hey, how are you? Smile on your face. You want to look friendly. You want to look open. I learned all of that stuff the hard way when I was in New York City because there was nobody there to teach me. But after rejection, eventually you're like, I'm doing something wrong. What do I do to fix this? You got to take mental notes in the back of your head.
Absolutely. Yep.
So I learned. I learned how to talk to people. I used to be very bad in front of a crowd. I would sit there in the middle of Times Square going, oh boy, should I really get a crowd going? What if I make a fool out of myself? And it took me a very long time to realize, if you're not making a fool out of yourself, people aren't going to watch you.
Absolutely.
So
I'm just going to jump in and go, psychology. Everything revolves around psychology. It's how you deal with people, interact with people.
Absolutely.
And I remember back to, going to college, paying for my own college. Dad said, no, I'm not paying for your college. And he goes, psychology, why are you doing psychology? What are you going to do with that? And I was like, Dad, you were a history major and you're now a purchasing manager. Like, what's the connection? Psychology is dealing with people. It applies to absolutely everything.
But I also
throwing it back to you.
I also find psychology interesting because you would be very surprised how easy it is to get people to think the way that you want them to think. I'm sure you're in real estate.
Yep.
You probably use psychology every single time you're talking to somebody about buying a house.
We do. And we try to use the forces of psychology for the good, not the evil. So
I'm not saying it's manipulation. I'm saying you probably know how to read people very well.
Yes. But it's guiding people to come to their own conclusions.
Right.
But a lot of times they have a difficult time reaching those conclusions on their own. You just need to be there to guide them.
Right, exactly. And I found that when I was living out in the city, and even when I came back 8 years ago, when I started doing my thing around Connecticut, it took a long time for me to realize, like, all right, yeah, you know what? This is where I was messing up. This is where I had to improve. Sometimes I didn't. And everything that I've done so far has been a learning curve. And now I'm the most confident that I've ever been in my entire career. And it's been 18 years. But hey, 20 years sometimes is how long it takes to become an overnight success. Yeah.
Absolutely. That whole word, overnight success, there's always 10, 20, 30 years behind it because, I'm sure it happens once in a million where somebody just clicks and it works.
And
but
it happened to me.
You don't have the confidence. You don't have all that toolbox, so to speak, to make it work.
And it happened to me. Like, I'm big on TikTok. Big on TikTok. I'm not famous on TikTok, but I'm big. And it's funny because, like, my TikTok page is the second page that I had. The first one I deleted because I wasn't getting anything out of it. I was like, this is a waste of time. This is a waste of space on my phone. And I posted a video on the second TikTok that I made. And I posted it thinking, all right, this is going to be like YouTube. I get 4 views a month, stuff like that. I go and take a shower. My girlfriend at the time starts banging on the bathroom door while I'm in the shower. She's like, Chris, you gotta check your phone. She's like, this is serious. And I'm thinking...
So they wrote a song about you guys?
No. Okay. I know what you're talking about, too. No, I'm like, this is something important. Then I got out of the shower. Within the 15 minutes that I was in the shower, from the second I posted the video to when I was in the shower to when I got out, I had reached 20,000 views.
Wow.
Within 15 minutes.
That's astounding.
Absolutely. And I was like dumbfounded because I had been posting on social media for years and would never get anything. I had a video go viral back in 2013, a topic I really shouldn't discuss, but it was a reaction to a magic trick. And it was made fun of by a comedian, and the comedian talked about it on a Netflix special. And they just happened to release that clip that he was talking about. People were referring to my video because he literally describes it action for action. And it got to about 1 million views, but it died down. So I was thinking, all right, this is going to kind of be like the video that went viral years ago. It's going to get...
What was the headline of the video?
Greatest reaction to a magic trick you will ever see.
Okay.
If you go on and Google that, I will come up. But at the
And
same,
how many views you think? You got over a million now?
I had about 500,000 the last time I checked.
Okay.
And granted, I haven't watched it in a while. I was also very young. I was filming a public access television show, and it just happened to be one of the clips that I got.
So just as a comparison, I'm a real estate broker. I was also a contractor, and I did a video within Habitat. It was on energy audits, and it's one of their most popular videos they've ever done.
I just dropped my cards.
But today, that video's got like 20,000 views.
Yeah.
Okay?
And it's crazy.
You had 20,000 views in like 20 minutes.
About that.
Therefore, again, leadership success, where does it all come from in terms of advertising? It's about the headline. It's that
I would
my
agree.
headline about energy audits versus greatest
Reaction
reaction
to a magic trick you'll ever see.
Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, it's just a little more enticing. It's
Right. But at the same time, too, you can look it up on YouTube and stuff, and you'll see 50 different videos with the same title. I just happened to get lucky. And I think a lot of my success on social media has been luck because, let's face it, there's so many people out there doing exactly what I'm doing. I just have more heart than they all do.
What did you do, a magic trick, or was it all about the reaction?
No, so the TikTok one?
Correct.
All right, so that was basically a magic trick. I was talking to the camera, and I was saying, hey guys, follow this, here's a card, we're going to put that in the deck, and I did a whole bunch of sleight of hand with it. And I guess it just clicked. And it got onto what's called the For You page, which is basically like if you're on TikTok and you're just scrolling through, it's random videos that they throw at you. And the algorithm changes every 3 weeks. So it's like, I just happen to be on, and next thing you know, people are sharing it and liking it and commenting, and one thing led to another, and it was a snowball effect, and within 6 months, I was up to, I think it was 30,000 followers.
So do you think if we picked up these cards
I
off
gotta
the
pick
floor,
these cards up. I don't want to unplug the microphone.
could you show us one of those tricks that you showed?
Actually,
And
I can. Here.
I could help you pick them up as long as you don't pickpocket.
No, we're good. No, pickpocketing is
You
another
didn't
show.
just take my wallet?
Nope, your
Okay.
wallet is good,
It's
but the
still-
license
okay,
in there,
it's
and,
there.
The warranty for your Chevrolet is now
Oh
gone.
my God.
But no, this is one of the tricks that I would do on TikTok. This is actually a great trick. I want you to take a card for me, Steve, and I want you to take a look at it, and I want you to show the camera, and I don't want to see. I'm actually going to look down this way where the mirrors are conveniently placed outside of the camera frames.
There we go.
I'm just joking about that, by the way. There's no mirrors. But I want you to take a look at the card. I want you to show everybody what it is. And I know we've got a monitor in front of us. I can't see what it
It's the
is.
seven of spades, and you guys should be able to see it soon.
I was going to say, are we still... actually, I don't care. You already said the card. It's a seven of spades.
It's a seven.
Cool.
Trust me on this
The
one.
seven of spades.
There we go.
So this is manipulation. I want you to say stop whenever you would like, okay?
Stop.
So the seven of spades is going to go right there inside of the deck for me, okay? I'm going to show the cameras one more time that the card is, in fact, going in to the deck, all right? So I'm going to cut the cards onto the table like this. And, Steve, I'd like you to snap your fingers for me. And when you do, the seven of spades is going to jump to the top of the deck, all right? So snap your fingers.
See, I was a magician until I broke my arm.
It's all right.
Doesn't
You know what?
work.
That
This one,
works.
how's
See,
that?
That's a good one. And because of that snap, now the seven jumps up to the top of the deck. And I mean, it happens a couple of times. I could put the card I'd say about halfway into the deck, but right there. You show that there's no breaks or anything like that. Snap your finger. And see how it jumps up to the top of the deck. See, there's the seven of spades.
Impressive.
Now, I really want to get you to get close up on this, all right? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the seven of spades is going to go into the deck, and I will show you that it goes in right before we push it into the deck. I will show you the seven of spades, all right? So look, we got it right here, okay? Watch this. It goes in to the center of the deck just like that. You can even see it sticking out a little bit. I'm going to leave it sticking out just so you can get that little visual. Steve, snap your fingers for me. See how it jumps right up to the top of the deck. Now keep that angle, though.
And I think I can still see it in the middle.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. You think you can. I want you to get this one more time. I'm going to put the card about halfway into the center of the deck. We're going to show that there's nothing there. I want to show you that it visually jumps to the top. That's the seven of hearts, but watch. Snap your fingers. See how it turns into the seven of spades, and it's incredible how this works. Now this time, this is as visual as I can make it. This is what I call the 3D effect. You bend the 7 in just like this. What you can see is a bend in the card, and I'm actually watching the monitor right now to make sure that this looks good. You cover the card, and as you can see, there's no bends or anything. Hold on, I'm right there. There's no bends. Steve, snap your fingers. See how it jumps up to the top? There's the bend. There's the card. The 7 of spades.
That's impressive.
So it's stuff like that I was doing online, and that's what went viral.
So that's where you got the reputation for being Connecticut's top close-up magician?
I mean, I guess that's not a name that I came up with, if that's what you're asking. No, I've been complimented a lot. I've heard things at least. Oh, dude, you're better than David Blaine. You're better than Chris Angel. You're the best close-up magician or magician in general that I've ever seen. And of course, I take that with a grain of salt because those are just people trying to help me sleep tonight. But no, I do take the compliment. I have been working very hard on my close-up magic, and I do kind of pride myself on saying.
I mean, I'm sitting here watching the card
you're 3 feet
go
away
in. I'm 3 feet away. We've got the camera on you.
Yeah. And it's
just amazing sleight of hand.
And it's just stuff that I've been working on for 18 years. And it's like that, it's my full-time job, and I'm passionate about it. And I really feel like if you like what you do, you never work a day in your life. It's a quote from Mark Twain, and I follow that.
Absolutely, yeah. Good quote. So, what about memorable experiences? I've been on TV a couple of times. I've been interviewed. BBC said, ooh, those are some of the best stories ever. I'm looking for your best stories ever. Share a few.
So I performed for Penn and Teller.
Nice.
Not on Fool Us.
Anybody heard of them?
Everybody thinks it's Fool Us. So
pretty impressed.
When I was living out in New York City, it was the same year that Penn and Teller came to Broadway, and they were doing their 40th anniversary shows. And they were at the Marriott Marquis in New York City, and I was doing street performances at the time, and I was like, oh, I want to go and see them. So I saved up, bought myself a nosebleed ticket, and then I did it again, and again, and again, and 16 times later, they finally knew me by a first-name basis. And it was pretty cool because, after their show, they have a meet and greet. The first time I met them, I was very humble. I was almost nervous, starstruck, because, I see these guys on TV, and Penn is, freaking huge.
Big guy.
But the thing that threw me off was that Teller talked to me after the show. Teller's the guy in Penn and Teller who doesn't talk.
Doesn't talk.
And I go up to him, I say, Mr. Teller, that was a fantastic show. You've inspired me. He goes, oh, thank you so much. And I'm like, hold on a second. Wait a minute. You don't talk.
He spoke.
He's like, I'm out of character. I'm like, that's right. So, I got to pick their brains a little bit, and finally I was like, you know what, I want to see if I can show them a magic trick. I mean, granted, they're already going to know it, but I just wanted to see, if they would give me any feedback. So I did. And they gave me feedback, and it was incredible because it was I wasn't expecting it, but at the same time, I kind of was, but I was also expecting to be a lot more nervous when I was doing this. The one thing that they said is that I had very good stage presence, and I was like, okay, that's incredible. And then they were like, we know exactly how you did the magic trick, though, and I'm like, ah. But, I mean, it's Penn and Teller. I mean,
to be expected.
Their
Absolutely.
gimmick right now is to fool Penn and Teller. I didn't. So I still don't get my trophy. But I could say that I performed for them.
That's a big word.
Do you want to see the trick I showed them?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's see it.
So what I want you to do right now, Steve, is I want you to think of a suit in a deck. Okay? So either a heart, club, spade, or diamond. And I want you to lock that in your head. And I want you to point to the top of a card for me, and we're going to put it onto the table. Okay?
Okay.
Now, the idea is we're not going to look at it just yet. I want you to just put it right there on the table, okay? Would it be interesting, Steve, if that card right there happened to match the suit that you're thinking of? That would be incredible, right?
Yeah, I'd be impressed.
What was the suit you thought of?
Spades.
Spades. Let's see. That is a queen of spades. Now, here's where it gets a little bit more interesting. Steve, name another suit that's not a spade.
Hearts.
Hearts are gone. Give me another one. Diamonds or clubs.
Diamonds.
Diamonds are gone. And we're going to get rid of all of the spades except for the queen of spades. Get a close-up on this, okay? So we're going to... Oh, and the 2 jokers. I keep the jokers in there because I need friends. But we're going to take the queen of spades. We're going to put the queen of spades into the center of the deck just like this, okay? Now, the only thing we have left is the clubs. Watch the deck. Ready? If you push on it, here goes all of the diamonds. Here goes all of the hearts. Here goes the rest of the spades and then those 2 jokers. And now all we have left, literally, are all of the clubs. Every single card is now a club, except for one that's here in the center, which happens to be your queen of spades. And the best part is you can handle every single card. Take a look at all of them.
He has no sleeves. There's nothing up his sleeve because he has no sleeves.
Now imagine how good that is
no
trying to
idea.
get that over on Penn and Teller, and they knew exactly what I did.
Okay. We got 5 minutes left.
Okay.
So let's talk more about what you do and what your niche is. So I think you do a lot of corporate stuff as well, right?
Corporate, I do a lot of corporate and private events, all adults. But I like doing corporate events because I like putting rich people in their place. And
Nice.
it's funny because like when I walk in, like this is how I dress for gigs. I'll dress like this to a place that's got people wearing 4-piece suits. And nobody's talking about their suits. They're talking about me. They're talking about the craft I'm doing. I've got people laughing and smiling. And I think it's interesting because this is the echelon of people that the general public always assumes are snooty, uptight, rude. And I kind of bring the kid out of them, and I like that. It gives me an adrenaline rush.
You mentioned comedy, so you get these guys to laugh?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, because I make rich jokes. Like, it's hysterical. I can literally go up to somebody and be like, wow, dude, that watch is worth my entire guitar collection. And then they laugh, and I'm like, why are you laughing? So, yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And I feel like it brings out I think it's the most difficult type of crowd. People who are there, who are serious, who a majority of the time think of business, whose mindset is set to work and make money. If you could bring out the kid in that, it's easy to do it for anybody else.
Okay. So I know you have your tour coming up, but I've also read that in bars, you have a gig that kind of focuses on speeding up time.
Yeah, so when I market to restaurants, I tell them that I create the illusion of time stopping. And basically, if the restaurant is really packed, I'll go in and I'll go and mess with the people at the tables. And what it does is 2 things. 1, makes them forget that they're waiting for their food or drink. 2, makes them forget that there's a 45-minute wait at the door. And it's entertaining. And it keeps the kids
Yeah,
quiet.
I can see that making money for them. So that's a piece of your success, and a piece of success for the companies that hire you.
Yeah.
So
I've got an envelope right here. I was wondering if you wanted to see what was in it. I know we have to wrap up time.
absolutely.
Steve, I've got a deck of cards in this envelope. Could you name a card for me that's not the Ace of Spades?
King of Spades.
Interesting. I just want to do this really quickly. We're going to open it up. By the way, you can see the tape that's on there. You said the King of Spades?
And by the way, he asked for this envelope before the show started. This is not pre-rehearsed.
So, in this deck of cards right here, I actually keep a card face down. It's actually right here. Okay? Here's the interesting thing. Steve, take that card. Show everybody
this guy
what it
is
is.
talented. Amazing.
Show everybody what it is.
King of Spades, just like I said. So you're kind of like a mind
Not even.
magic guy?
Not even.
Did you suggest it?
Nope.
Nope. All right. I think we got about 1 minute left.
Okay.
You got like one more quick trick?
I mean, I could do this. No. If we have a minute left, though, I do want to say, if people are interested, if they'd like to see a nice adult magic show, comedy, magic, parlor stuff, banter with the crowd, possible stupidity and stunts, go and see the IPA tour coming to a brewery near you all over New England and New York. You can get tickets at my website. If people want to know more about me, they can go to my website, which is www.chrislanglemagic.com.
Could you spell it's CHRIS?
CHRIS.
That's the easy one.
LENGYELMAGIC.com.
All right, we're wrapping it up. Thank you very much,
No
Chris.
problem.
Appreciate
Steve.
it.
This was fun.
Thanks for coming in, folks.